Hello and welcome to the channel. Today's run is going to be leg 2 of the Lakeland 50 from Howtown over to Mardale Head. We're currently at the checkpoint. This is checkpoint 1 for the Lakeland 50. Which checkpoint number is it for the Lakeland 100?
This is checkpoint 9.
So checkpoint 9 Lakeland 100 and checkpoint 1 for the Lakeland 50. Here's Rob, he's training for the Lakeland 100. You've probably seen him in a few of the videos. And we've drove over from Mardale Head. My car's over there, waiting for us to get there. And we're gonna have a run over Fusedale and down to Haweswater and around to the next checkpoint. Let's do it. This leg starts with a fairly stiff climb straight out of a checkpoint. We parked just over on the other side of the hill at Martindale Church, which is also the first checkpoint for the Tour de Helvellyn. So we're in very familiar surroundings now, and I think we're going to have a cracking day. The sun's up, it's not too windy, it's quite chilly, but it looks like it's going to be dry, and there's a promise of a little bit of snow up on the tops as well, so should be a fantastic day. So we're just about to hit the open fell, and I don't know if you can see, but the trail behind going that way, that's the route the Lakeland 50, Lakeland 100 takes up from Pooley Bridge, and then we make a right turn down to Howtown checkpoint before doubling back, following the same trail and then coming up onto this section of trail, and then we're going up the valley now. Can you see the valley where we're going up now? That is absolutely spectacular. Rob's way in the distance, he's legging it, so I'm going to get a bit of a spurt on, see if I can catch him up. On one of the steeper sections of this initial climb, so good time to have a little chat. We're about a third of the way up to the summit, but on the ground you can see there's just a little bit of a ridge line. It only looks like it's a few hundred meters away, and then when you get to that section the climb continues for a good couple of kilometers before you get the luxury of descending. I've been poorly for a couple of weeks and I'm feeling a little bit weaker than I would be normally. Chest is definitely not quite where it should be, and my heart rate is probably 10-15 beats higher than it would be normally on a climb such as this.
Ooh. That's a lot steeper than I remember that bit.
This is a tree we could see all the way down in the valley, and it did give the impression that this was on the top of the hill, but you can see we've still got quite a way to go before we get anywhere near the top. So a little bit of an optical illusion. The hill does flatten out ever so slightly here, so that would be why from further down the valley you'd get that impression that this was coming over a summit, but it's still a ways to go. So we're shortly going to lose sight of Haweswater behind us, and the next bit of water we'll see is Haweswater, which will ultimately take us to our destination for today at Mardale Head. Right, we've not done much filming for the last few Ks. It's been a little bit limited visibility. You can just about see the sun poking through the clouds over here. But this is the high point of the entire Lakeland 100 and we're about to drop down into the Haweswater valley. This plateau is a very featureless area. You can just about make out the trail that we're on now, but at night time this is a very, very difficult area to navigate. On the Lakeland 50 it's not too bad because you're definitely going to be here in daylight, but even so it's very easy to miss a trail, and there's lots of crisscross trails on this section of fell, and there aren't any major points in the distance that you can pick off and run towards, and when you've got limited visibility like we have today, it's very, very easy to miss landmarks and to drift off in the wrong direction. I do have the route on my watch which we're following, and it'll give me a nudge if we go off route by any significant amount, but it's not a fail-safe. We've got maps just in case. Right, I've not got a map, but Rob's got a map, and Rob also knows how to use a map as well, so if we do get lost, Rob can come in. And the sun's come out, look at that now, look at the change just in a few seconds. Isn't that fantastic? We can see some walkers up in the distance coming off the ridgeline there. There's lots of snow in the gullies. We've caught a little bit. And the wind appears to have died down as well. So I think what we'll do on the descent, we'll get the drone out and we'll get some aerial footage. We'll just have to thread our way through this boggy section. So if any of you guys are coming up for the Lakeland 100 or the Lakeland 50, I would highly recommend, if it's possible, to get up here and do at least one route recce of this area. Familiarise yourself with the course layout up here. As you get over towards Ambleside, you do pick up some pretty substantial trails, and it's relatively easy to navigate, but up on this plateau it can be quite problematic, and we will get wet feet. Right, should we have a little jog, lad? Just had a couple of minutes playing with the drone and it was just a little bit too breezy. I'll throw some of the footage up there. It handled it pretty well, but I think just a touch on the windy side. Rob's took off, he's miles ahead of me now, and we're still on the plateau. We've got about another half a K before we drop down to Haweswater, and from memory it's quite a tricky descent. It's noticeably cooler up on here. Straight over the snow. What? Straight over the snow. Right, we've just come down the treacherous descent from Fusedale. It actually wasn't as bad as we thought. All the bracken and the ferns that we get in the summer are all flattened down. But what we've got now is this fantastic view behind us. That's Haweswater. And we will be just following this little trail down to the edge of the water and then following all the way up towards Mardale Head. And it's the last section. We've probably got about 5 Ks to go, and it's been a fantastic day out on the hills. How are you feeling, Robert?
Good. Been a lovely day. Had a little bit of everything, haven't we, except snow?
Yeah, and it was a bit cold up top, but it wasn't freezing. But this is the section that we came and did a recce a couple of years ago, and we bivvied over towards Mardale Head, and we came. Was it dark when we came down here?
Yeah, it was just. I think it's got proper dark just as we hit the shoreline.
Yeah, so it was a little bit gloomy, and what we had, you can see the brown ferns here. These were all kind of chest height. So the trail, you couldn't see the trail. We were just sort of wading through bracken and through ferns, and these rocks were very, very treacherous. So now we can see where we're going. It actually doesn't look too bad at all. And it's such a beautiful day. Look at the view down Haweswater there. There's some lovely waterfalls. Let's go and have a little look at this. Rob's left me. So we've been on the hills for about 2 hours on what is probably one of the finest winter's day you're going to get in the Lake District. And we've passed one other walker in that time. We've seen a couple of people on distant ridges, but it's absolutely empty. And I said it on one of the other videos, you can go maybe, we're probably about 10 miles away from Ambleside, which is the heart of the Lake District, and it will be absolutely booming today, and absolutely no one out here. Right, so this is a money shot now, so we can see all the way up Haweswater. The trail circumnavigates the lake all the way around up to Mardale Head. We cut inland a little bit just to maintain, or just to stay on the trail, and it's absolutely beautiful. Right, let's go and catch up with Rob. Rob's been upping his training volume up over the last couple of months, and you can really tell he's running so much better now. He hasn't fallen over yet, and I've actually been struggling to keep up with him on a couple of sections. Right.
That's the last thing you want on there.
How's it going?
Not too bad.
All right. Yeah. Right, so that's the technical part of the trail finished. We've just got a little jump around the lake now onto the other side of the woodland and then into Mardale Head. So Rob reckons it's about 2k to go, but it's fairly decent trail now. We've gone past all the rocky sections, and we've also passed a couple of the runners. So big shout out to Paul who passed us back there. If you see this, give us a shout. Good to see you out on the hills. Can't stop moving. I said that's the end of the rocky section, but now we've got another little bit of technicality to get down. I think I made a poor selection with my footwear today. I've got my Innovate Ultras on, which are brilliant in the soft ground, but on the rocks they're a little bit under cushioned and don't quite give you enough protection on these rocks, so I've got a little bit of bruising on the bottom of my feet as a result. Right, so in the distance there, that's our first view of Mardale Head. That's where the car is. And on the Lakeland 150, that's where the checkpoint will be. We've got about 500 metres to make it down. And I just want to say again, what a fantastic day out on the fells it's been. Could not have asked for better weather. It has been a little bit chilly on the tops, but completely manageable. And a wonderful day. The last time me and Rob were up on this section of trail, it was in summer, and we had an overnight bivvy a couple of k's behind us, and we ran to Ambleside from here in treacherous rain. We encountered floods and freezing cold conditions, and that was in the height of summer. And now we're in the middle of January. Yeah, we've got our winter clothing on, but there's no gloves. I could probably do without a hat. I've kept it on just because of the wind. And we've had a fantastic day. Right, I'll put the camera away, get down to the car park, and we'll have a little chat at the end about the overall route. See you in a bit. Just before we drop down to the car park, that's where checkpoint 2 will be for the Lakeland 50, checkpoint 10 for the Lakeland 100, and you go down into the car park and then you come back out the same way, and that's a trail that takes you up and over towards Kentmere, which is the next checkpoint. This is a tremendously well stocked checkpoint as well, and after a pretty tough leg coming over from Howtown, the temptation is to get on the chair, sit down, put your feet up, and 5 minutes can turn into 20 minutes and can quite easily turn into an hour. So my strategy will be get in, get myself dibbed in, grab a drink, grab a bite to eat, and then start walking up the hill and take on my nutrition then. Right, and here we are at Mardale Head. So if you've made it this far, why don't you consider subscribing? We will be back up in a few weeks to do the next leg over to Kentmere, and then onwards towards Ambleside and Chapelstyle. But for now, my name's Paul, and that was Paul Runs Daily.